Today we're going to talk about how Steve Jobs generated sick cash flow for Apple for many, many years and what it takes for you and I to be able to generate sick cash flow in our businesses, which, hey, that's what it's all about. And hey, if you're not sure what is cash flow, well, just to give you a reminder, cash flow is the money that's left over in the bank account after you have taken care of all of the needs of the business, all of your personal needs. You maybe paid some loans down, you had to, buy different things, and you're going into the next month and you have enough money left over to reinvest back in the business, to pay yourself, which is always a fantastic concept, and be able to grow that business. And so how did Steve Jobs do this? How did he generate sick cash flow, and especially when he came back for the second time in 1997? Because if you're not familiar with Steve Jobs and his story, boy, I highly recommend listening and reading the biography that Walter Isaacson wrote on Steve Jobs. Just a phenomenal book. So number one, to generate sick cash flow like Steve Jobs, you must focus on innovation and product excellence. Why is that so important? Well, if you think about it, you got the iPhone, you got the iMac, my iMac's sitting right over there. You've got your iPad, you've got your Apple Watch, all of these integrated products that all work together on a system. But what kind of products are they first and foremost? They are top of the line. They are premium products. And when you have a premium product, guess what? You get to offer premium pricing. When you have premium pricing with your product, that means you're generating very high gross margins. And Steve Jobs was mentored under Don Valentine, who is the co-founder of Sequoia Capital, who invested in a few companies you might have heard of, like Apple, like YouTube, like PayPal, like NVIDIA. That's how much of a genius this guy was. And he said, hey, high gross margins are super important. So if you have a premium product, that means you have premium pricing. If you have premium pricing, your margins are going to be good and you're going to do well with cash flow. So focus on innovative products, premium products with premium pricing. That's the first way that Steve Jobs generated sick cash flow. The next key is simplification of product line. And I already talked a little bit about this, but basically instead of having hundreds of products, you just have a handful of products that are really, really good products. That's also key. And then strong brand loyalty and an ecosystem. When you have a community that trusts your product, that's loyal to your product, that feels that the mission of your product is part of their life mission as well, when you have that type of confluence that comes together, that type of congruity, that's very powerful, right? Because you're on the same page, you have the same mindset, you think the same way, you're part of this community. When you're part of a community, guess what? You're willing to invest more. What about our products, right? Now, it's actually very difficult to generate high gross profit margins with a physical product, so your physical product better be high quality hardware. And what Apple's done is a lot of these businesses they struggle with cash flow because you have all this money that you have to pay the manufacturer who makes your product, and then you sell it on the market, sell it to the consumer, you sell it wholesale. And so for Apple, because they were so smart, they brought in Tim Cook. And Tim Cook's genius was he was a good operator, especially with inventory. So instead of all this money being plowed in inventory, which hurts your cash flow, he would do just-in-time inventory, which means he's just barely purchasing it at the right time so it's there when the customer needs it, but he doesn't have massive amounts in stocks in the warehouse of inventory, which kills your cash flow. And so they had this just-in-time format, very well put together with operations. Next, Google actually pays to get a Google Chrome or to get the Google search in Apple iPhones, and that's a big revenue stream again for Apple. So they have all these additional revenue streams with no expenses associated with it, right? For Google is paying, I think, billions of dollars a year to get their search app into the iPhone. So you think about your product or service, what additional revenue streams or offerings can be inside of your product or service? Maybe it's an upsell, right? Jay Abraham said, there's only two ways to make more money in business. Go get more clients, which is very expensive, or two, sell more solutions, products, and services to your existing client base. And the best kind of money is money that comes in month after month, year after year, that's predictable, subscription model. You think about all the top companies out there, like a Netflix, like a Verizon, like your internet company. Everything is a monthly subscription payment. All the softwares that you use, anytime you can have a subscription-based business, that's going to be very powerful for your business. And the last two pieces to have amazing cash flow that Steve Jobs absolutely mastered was cash reserves. They always had a lot of cash. Apple still has a lot of cash. I think they have over $100 billion in cash just sitting in the coffers, just for a rainy day, just in case. And they have amazing cost management. They know exactly what their cost is per unit, per product, for everything they do, for the people and the amazing team that they have on tap at Apple. And because of that, they're able to manage their finances very well. They know what their cash flow is going to be. They know what their profit margins are going to be. So that, my friends, is how Steve Jobs creates sick cash flow in his business. And each and every one of those different concepts can be implemented in your business. If you want to get some tips on how to have better cash flow, I wrote a book recently. It has 3 cash flow secrets. You can get a free download at cashflowsecrets.com or the link in the description there. And we look forward to giving you more cash flow secrets and tips so you can make your business cash flow positive and win the entrepreneurship game.